Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming for this first evening of Gurukula presentations at the Gurukula gathering. And I want to honor at this time all the people who are also online, watching in various time zones around the country. And we appreciate all of you out there coming, especially I'm impartial to Amaye people in particular. But thank you for coming and sitting in. And I think tonight, after Dada Shambhushivananda gives his talk, since it's not too late at night there in various parts of the world, where it will be morning and other times during the day, Dada will stay and to chat with you guys after his presentation tonight. So thank you everyone out there for coming. So tonight, we're having this special talk by Dada, and I had this experience just last week where I was just laying out in the stars and in my backyard, and it was night. And suddenly, as I was laying there, I heard this voice, and it said, "What is Gurukula?" And I thought, no, I didn't hear anything. I'm just laying there, singing to the stars, and suddenly it gets louder. And I thought, oh, this is ridiculous. So I turned over on my side. I heard, "What is Gurukula?" So tonight we have someone who's been chancellor of Gurukula since 1990, talking, and hopefully he'll answer that voice in the night. Thank you, Dada.
Well, this is not a conference, not a workshop. It is our Gurukul gathering. And what is the purpose of this gathering? Why we have this gathering? We would have liked not only few dozen people here, but even few hundred, few thousands. But we thought it would be too difficult for us to manage. So we thought, okay, let's start with few first. So you are all very special, who felt the calling to join us for this Gurukul gathering of the New York sector. And I think the purpose is to bring together wisdom teachers. I call them WTs, but not full-timers, but wisdom teachers, who have a very special role to play at this time in human history, to lead the humanity from so many disasters, to take it away from disasters. You know, calamities are natural. They happen in life. They always have been happening. They turn into disasters when we are not prepared for them. So we hope that with the help of our wisdom teachers, we can save this humanity, this society from different disasters. So we'll be able to face the calamities which will come or which we are encountering at this time, and there are many. If this world was a perfect place, there would be no need for Ananda Gurukula. But Shri Ananda Murti ji, just before departing from this physical earth, in this physical body, he was here, he felt the necessity to leave behind a very special gift for the world. And that he capitulated in his last song that he composed. As you know, he composed 5,019 songs. And the last song that he composed the night before he left his physical body was on Gurukul. So that is very significant. He composed two songs. One was on Anandanagar, and the last one was on Gurukul. So in that song, he said that not only we will build Gurukul, we have already begun that process. So, when it was on September 7th, 1990, that in the evening, when we were sitting in the Calcutta in Tiljala headquarters for some RDS meeting, one workers meeting, that our general secretary came from Baba's room downstairs, and he said that Baba would like to start a new educational body, and he's asking for suggestions for what name should be given to that educational body. So people, of course, they said Shiksha Parishad or this or that, some whatever they could think of. But downstairs, he had already given it the name. He says it will be called Anand Marg Gurukul. And it will replace the Ananda Marga Board of Education. So what used to be Ananda Marga Board of Education, that was scrapped, and in its place, Anand Marg Gurukul was set up. And he said its headquarters shall be at Anandanagar. And all the educational initiatives of Ananda Marga, from people's night schools, day schools, literacy programs, to primary schools, high schools, degree colleges, any academies, all educational initiatives, even universities, they will come within the scope of this Gurukul. They will be under the supervision of this Gurukul. And even the institutions which will be set up in the master units, educational programs which will be set up in eco villages or our what we call master units, they will be directly under the supervision of Gurukul. So he had a grand vision for Gurukul, and he has already mentioned in his book Shabd Chainika, he has given description of how the ancient Gurukuls used to be there. He says there should not be more than 500,000 students in a Gurukul. More than that, it becomes a little bit difficult to administer properly. But that means at least there can be, from 250,000 to 500,000 students. So Gurukul is not a new word. It was in existence in India for a long, long period. And they were called ashram schools. So in the beginning, the students, they were sent to the Guru, and they will remain in his ashram for 20 years, 24 years. And after getting all the knowledge and all the wisdom, and then they will come back home and they will manage the affairs of the society. So that was the system in those thousands of years ago. And there were literally millions of Gurukuls from village to village all over the country. That was the system of education. So, and when Nalanda, Takshila, Vikramshila, these great centers of learning were started, people would come all the way from China to those places to study. And so there is very elaborate programs they had for learning. So the idea of Gurukul was not something new, but when this system of universities started, and when Britishers came into India and they started Calcutta University, Madras University, Delhi University, like this. So and they made English as the medium of instruction. So gradually all those old Gurukuls, they gradually disappeared. So they have gone into oblivion. Baba, of course, he made all our schools as English medium schools. He wanted a lingua franca so that, which could be used all over the world. And but they would also be taught, other classical languages. And so he said it will be these Gurukul institutions, they will have Oriental sublimity and Occidental dynamicity. So it was a blending of East and West, of analysis and synthesis, of bringing together of the best traditions of knowledge on the planet Earth. So, after, as soon as Baba started to give his directions about Gurukul, I had to remain outside his door day and night, because even in the middle of the night, sometimes he will ask, who is there? And then I would say my name, Baba Shambhushivananda. Then Baba will give some dictation, one sentence he will dictate or something he will say, and I'll write it down. I'll write it down, and then it will be transferred to the GS General Secretary's diary, and that became the notes of Gurukul, directions of Baba on Gurukul. But after 2-3 days, he said that I would like to see persons whom I have given the duties in Gurukul. And since I was the first person who was given the first duty as the Kulapati, as the Chancellor of Gurukul, I went into Baba's room, and he was lying down. His health was not very good, so he was in one in Tiljala. He was in a large room, and in one corner his bed was there, and he was lying down on the bed. So I did my salutation, Sashtang Pranam, and I sat in front of him, and he did like this, come closer, So I came very close to him. I was looking at his face. He said, do you understand the scope of responsibility I have given you? And I said, yes, Baba. I did not know anything, what he had given, what it meant, what was supposed to do and what not. And but I said, I knew that this is what he wants to hear. I said, yes, Baba. Then he said, will you be able to do it? And then with folded hands, I said, Baba, by your grace, I will surely be able to do it. And he smiled, and then he got up and he whispered in my ears, I have done most of your work. So, and then he gave few more directions, he said few more things, and he put both his hands on top of my head, and he gave his blessings. And actually, that was my last meeting with him. I did not know that was going to be my last meeting with him. He left his body. I was still working in Europe. I came back to Germany, and then we heard that he had already left his body. So, of course, I garlanded him before I left Calcutta. So it was very special that I had this opportunity, to come close to him, and in that way, and that he gave his blessings for this. And, the directions he gave were very sketchy for Gurukul. But he took time for every little thing, in choosing people who would take responsibility in Gurukul. And he had two criteria, basically. One was that they should be devotees, they should be, and second, that they should have some necessary qualifications. So all the best people in the whole world and all over India, who had been with him for many, many years, for many decades, he selected them and he gave them different duties as members of the governing body or members of the academic council, or in different capacities, he gave them duties. Now, 50% of those people are already gone. They have left their body and they are no longer here. It's 30 years ago. So I think he left behind a vast legacy. And Guru, we know Guru means one who dispels ignorance, one who dispels darkness. That is Guru. And Kula means the institution something which carries on the legacy of the Guru, which holds the legacy of the Guru and transmits it to the next generation. So I did not realize the beauty and the importance of Gurukul until the lockdown period, this Corona period, when I was stuck in Anandnagar and I was face to face with these children, when we started some Ayurveda classes, and all these small children, they will come there and they wanted to be part of everything. They wanted to sit there, but they didn't have the attention span to stay there more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then they will disappear. So I thought, I should do something for them. So we had a plot just across the road, and there were 2 rooms which we had constructed for the school a long time ago, and they were kind of run down and this. So after a few weeks, I just brought, like a mat, big mat, and I put it on the ground there, and I started dealing with these children. Now, I have never taught children in my whole life. I gave lectures in the universities, in the, different conferences and everything. But faced with these children, what will I do with them? I had not a, faintest idea what I'll do. But that program, it started with 10 children and it became 20 and then 30 and then 40, then 50. There were 120 children, and I improvised. I just learned every day what I had to do. Every day I would think, okay, now what is the thing I can teach them? And it became so interesting that I saw these children that they were so eager to learn. And they are far away from the civilization. In the whole country there is lockdown. People cannot move freely. And here these children, they are, we are in a very remote area, and they were very free. And so I, began that journey with them. And within 1 year, I found that they are, they were saying thank you in more than 35 languages. They had learned 40, 50 Prabhat Sangeet. They know by heart. And I have to look, but for them, they were able to sing because it is also in their mother tongue. But their favorite song was an Urdu song, which was Duniya Walo Takte Raho. So it's not in their language, but yet, so I could see that how they, learned many classical songs, ragas, different melodies also they were able to pick up. And so I started meditation, 1 minute meditation. And then from 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, now they can sit for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Even 2-year-old children, 3-year-old children, they sit. It's just so amazing to see. I think those children I have not seen anywhere in the world. It's a very special experience that how they were, embracing. And all the things which we teach in our monastery or in our, training center, about the different, anatomy, physiology, and shlokas, sutras, and, these 10 vayus and Ashtanga yoga and all kinds of things. These children, they were just, and if I know something, all I have to do is I have to speak. And they don't know the language, but they watch me and they just, imitate, and it goes into their head. And after some time, it becomes second nature. So I realized, I learned many things actually during that process, that what is the potential of Gurukul? That Gurukul is not something, just only something which Baba, gave theoretically, but it is something which can transform society, which can bring meaning into people's lives. They would come at 6:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. They are waiting. 20, 30 children were waiting there before even I would come there. So I think the limitation was that, I didn't have proper teachers. I didn't have proper facilities, proper things to give them. And and it has grown, and school is still running. I'm not there for 6 months. I'm not there, but the school is still running, and they are picking up new things, because the brother who was working with me, who is helping me to manage the entire Gurukula establishments there, he is now managing and running the things. And even the teachers who were not at all interested in education, they would just come there only because they get some money, and they would come, half an hour, 1 hour late, and they will leave half an hour early. But, gradually, even they are beginning to realize that, no, this is something very important. It has to be done. So I realized that actually Gurukul has, the role of Gurukul is spanning 3 different spaces. One is a personal space, an individual, individual space. And because we all come on this earth, and we don't have any, logbook which we bring with us, and we have to figure it all out. Why we are here, where we have to go, what is our life, what we have to learn, and we depend on others for our existence, for our survival, for our, living, and and the parents, sometimes they are not able to provide all the things that the children require. The teachers, they are not maybe interested sometimes they are very interested, but so there is, but there is a purpose for which we come on this earth. And that is that we are born with a certain level of consciousness, and at the end of our life, we have a different level of consciousness. We come empty-handed and we leave empty-handed, but we gain certain experiences, certain understandings, and it is that growth which is our earning in our whole life. So the purpose of being born on this earth is to expand our level of consciousness. And that is our journey, which continues from one life to another life, if we believe in the other life, and even if not, but at least in one life, we want to get from, if our mind is expanded 10 degrees to 360 degrees. So this is very important, that Gurukul has to provide knowledge, wisdom, understanding, to help each person to realize the purpose for which they have come on this earth, and which will give them fulfillment, which will give them freedom, which will give them happiness and joy, and tools to help others, to impart joy and happiness to others. So this is not only an institutional work, it is every individual, whether they go to school or they don't go to school, or whether they live in a home, whether they are in a village or they are in a very hi-fi society, everybody needs guidance. And Baba came on this earth, and he provided a lot of guidance on how we can live happily and how we can grow and evolve into ideal human beings. So I think that is one role of Gurukul, is to give that wisdom and knowledge to all the people on this earth, so that everybody can live in an ideal way. People want happiness, but they don't know what will bring them that happiness. So what can they do so that they will be able to remain blissful and happy and joyful and in good health? So that is, I think, one work which is common to all the branches of our movement of Ananda Marga also. But Gurukul particularly, since it is an educational body, it has a special responsibility, to have programs for children, for adults, for, like when Baba was giving directions, he said, GS, ask Shambhushivananda how many schools have been started in the overseas countries in the last 6 months. So I was looking at GS, what should I say? Say something. I said, Baba, we are trying. Okay, let us wait and see. So he wanted that, our educational program should, expand and spread all over the world. Then he said, whether farming training is being given compulsorily in all our master units or not. So he had a certain understanding of what type of education, should be imparted. So, for example, to children, if you show them coffee leaf and tea leaf, Just by looking at the leaf, they should be able to say, this is this plant, this is this plant. But today, very few people, they have, direct contact with the nature. So I told to Mahesh, who is working with me, that, we should really, because he has a lot of knowledge about birds, about animals, about, in the flora and fauna of that area. And so I said, this should be made as an integral part of our education, that, these children, they should. So they come to our, this Chakrazuri campus, which is 17-acre campus, and they look at all the flowers, and they, stay there, and they see what is being grown there, and they even help to clean sometimes. So they are, getting connected with nature. We have 2 dogs there, Rottweiler, and very, ferocious dogs. But the dogs, they do fasting 4 times a month. One of them on Ekadashi, on Amavasya and Purnima, just like our whole-time workers, they do. These dogs, they do fasting 4 times a month. You can put the food there, they will not even touch it. It will remain like that. And one used to do regularly 4 times, and the other one was not doing. But now lately, the other one has also started to do it. So, and the children, they come to see those dogs, and they know that this is what they are doing. And then we have about 15, 20 peacocks who are born in our campus. There is little, and they were playing there, there's Mahesh. He found many snakes, many cobras, and he caught them and he took them to the forest and left them far away. So there is, and so many birds have given and laid their eggs there, and very, very beautiful birds. There was a small bird which fell in our, campus there, and so Mahesh took care of that bird and was feeding. And then after 2 days, the mother, they'll make the sound. The mother would know it's there. She'll come, and then after, learn to fly away, and it went away. And now recently, 2 ducks, they fell down in our well. And so he rescued them from that well, and now they are there, and they'll be put in the pond. We have a pond there, and they're very beautiful ones also. So there is, I think, to create people of character who have embraced new humanism in their life. It's not only theoretical knowledge, but it is practical knowledge. I think it's very difficult to find people. When I was there during the lockdown, I felt that I cannot do anything. I had given up that, I'll be able to do anything there in Ananda. But suddenly, because of the lockdown, I could not go anywhere. And then this person just arrived. It's like, he was far away in the UP, and he called and said that, I would like to come there to help with the Gurukul work. So one Dada introduced me to him, and then he just came there. And he was like an angel for me, because he can take care of plants and animals and birds and insects and, cows, and, we have beehives there, and construction and plumbing and electrical and all kinds of things, and even teaching, even computer, it's just like that. So I felt that it was Baba's blessing when he said that I have done most of your work. This was part of it, that he provided me the one person. When the whole organization was not ready to give support of one worker to me, here came, and now everybody's so jealous of him that they think, oh, how he got this person? They're asking, very curious, how did you get here? He said, Baba just brought me here. He led me here, and I'm here. So, so this is one aspect, which is person to person. We have to, this was the system in Gurukul, that from Guru to disciple, from Guru to the student, you have to transmit those values. You cannot only teach, in words and mechanically, but people imbibe those qualities by observing you. Why I found that I would go there, and the children, they trusted me more than their own parents. The parents, who were very afraid of us in the beginning, they would send their girls, okay, Dada is going, okay, you can go. I will take them on learning journeys, in different places, sometimes to the dairy farm or to the Fossil Hill, or, orchards or different places. And so that trust which was built, because they felt he is there for us, for me. So I think that love, that was the only thing which was there, was love for them. And then everything else just followed, it came after that. So I think that today we are looking to bring together all the persons who feel neo-humanism in their heart, who have lived their whole life, with these values in their personal life and want to transmit it to others. This is, I think, what I said, the purpose of this gathering and future gatherings for Gurukul is, for last 20 years, I was moving around all over the last 30 years, all over the world. But it is like picking up one person here, one person here, one person here. We have not many people, but we have few people who are totally devoted. There is a sister, Snehata, in Taiwan. Simple sister, but was doing so much work for us. Janaki in Thailand, Kalyani in Malaysia. Like, we have not many people, but we have few people who are totally, Rudra Mohan in Taiwan, and many others, of course. And then I was lacking some administrative help in things. And then we were having a Amai conference. And through that Amai conference, one sister came in our contact. And I think she is present, probably listening, Mrs. Radha Gussain. Her husband works in the retired from the Ministry of External Affairs, lives in Delhi. And she now is practically taken over the entire administration of Gurukul, and legalities and finances and many things like this she is managing. She teaches yoga in a Sanskrit school, 3,000 children, and very capable and very devoted. And so it's a pleasure to work with such people, who really have that devotion, that dedication, and that commitment to create a new society, to serve him, through this Gurukul. So I think this is what we are looking for. We want more and more people to join us, but quality people who are on this path and who are mature and who can guide other people. And this is one. Vishwamitra ji, he was the president of Amurth and playing a very important role, for so many years. He's the grandfather of our New York sector. He's connected with so many people, has initiated so many people. And when he came forward and took over, and Arati was instrumental in making sure that he feels comfortable within Gurukul. And now, you can see, he has built here 150 acres of this campus with so many different projects, which we will get to see tomorrow. And you will see, I think, so it is the quality people, actually, which Gurukul has been able to gather, which I think everybody realizes that, yes, Gurukul has potential and will be able to do many big things in the future. The second space in which Gurukul operates is institutional space, or organizational space. In our whole organization, which we have, hundreds and thousands of workers working all over the world in 160, 70, 80 countries. We have so many different departments, but everybody is doing basically educational work. Either they are teaching yoga, or they are teaching meditation, or they are running schools, or they are propagating sprout, or they are, whatever they are doing, but it is educational in nature, most of it. So, and they are looking towards Gurukul to provide them guidance and help with how you repeat the same things over and over again, but then after some time, it becomes quite stale. So they are looking for how they can express about biopsychology, about, neo-humanism, and different aspects of Prama and Proud, means all the things which Baba has given for the humanity. So to make it more easy for them to understand and to teach to others. So Gurukul is like a repository of all the information and knowledge and wisdom, and it needs to be shared with our organization. Even though organization may or may not recognize the role of Gurukul at this time, But at the grassroots level, the workers, they approach me and they say, Dada, we want your version of this. Is this okay or is not okay? So they are looking towards the Gurukul to provide them guidance. So I think, in Ananda, for example, there are 50 training centers Baba has given for every department. They are not, at the moment, none of them are working. But in those training centers, what is to be taught? For example, today, disaster management has become a very specialized field. You cannot just go into a disaster area and start doing things. There are first responders, there are second responders, there are government machineries. You have to coordinate with them. There's technology which has developed, drone technology or software, different things which can sense life under the rubble. So all artificial intelligence is being used in disasters. So the world is not the same place what it used to be 40, 50 years ago. So Amurth is still relying on this old traditional methodology of going there and making khichdi and distributing khichdi or giving blankets. That is not enough. Today, the disaster management is a very specialized field, technical field, and it requires training and knowledge, to be imparted. So I think Gurukul is the future of even our organization. If we can develop programs and train our people, our workers, then they will be able to be more effective, in the field. But not only our organization, even in the society. See, an individual can do something, but only so much you can do as an individual. But if you join with others, you can do much more. And today, this spirit of moving together, spirit of working together, the spirit of social organization, this is a big challenge of how to come together and build up institutions. The first international space station which was built, at that time, John F. Kennedy, he took that determination and they opened up with Russia, and it was done with the collaboration of Europe and Russians as well as United States. So it was coming together, to do something which no individual nation could do, So I think today, if we really want to respond to the challenges of humanity, we have to build institutions where people can come together, work together, and do. Like day before yesterday, I arrived in New Haven, and I was there only for a few hours in the morning. And one brother came he was born in Kazakhstan, but Uzbekistan. But he grew up here in the United States. So I taught him meditation. And I was telling him that, he said, what is your organization? What is the purpose? I said, this is the purpose, that this organization puts me in touch with you. If I was an individual living somewhere, we could not have come together. But this organization of people working together, the things which are not possible individually, they become possible. So if we, all 50 of us, 30, 40, 50 people, if we come together, we can do a lot more than you can do alone or I can do alone. And this is the reason why we are gathered here, that to build up our, to team up our resources. You may have certain expertise, you may have certain skills, you may have certain inspiration and certain ideas. And if we pool all our enthusiasm and inspiration and energies together, we can do more than what even governments can do. And this is what Baba demonstrated, that he did not rely on government help. And he was a single person. He started with a single person. And he built up an international worldwide movement in 170 countries, and millions of people came in his contact. And he inspired them, guided them, assisted them, and they are continuing to do many things in this world. So I think that is the spirit which we want to bring in here, that let us work together, let us move together, let us pool our capabilities, our resources, let us bring more people into our fold who want to do such things. Those who are not interested, okay, we don't have to bother, but those who want to do good in their life, in their personal life, as well as in social life, then at least we can when we are together, we can do a lot more. And that's where we need help of people who are in the field of management, like our brother Tapan Kumar, and our young people like Ashok and Jyotirmaya and Rishi. They are the future of Gurukul, because now this white beard, how long it will continue? Maybe another 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, we don't know. But I think somebody from the younger generation have to come forward and take on the mantle of Gurukul and take it forward. So that's why I think it's very important that we bring the new generation also in our, on our platform, and let them. Mayatita, we are very, very happy that you are with us, because the things which you bring, we were missing those elements, and somehow, and now this sister, Raksha Mohan from Atlanta, I have been we have been in contact also. She's very active in crowd movement also, and she's helping us with the New Minister Review also. And so there are many people who are not here, but who are assisting us and want to work with us, and to want to take this, Gurukul forward. And so it will not depend only on these orange robed people anymore. Gurukul is primarily being established by civil people. So you are not in those robes, but you are the ones who are helping us. Kathleen, as you know, we'll hear more tomorrow. But that what a single individual can do, it is really a marvel. And she has been able to inspire so many people who are spread out all over, so many didis and so many who did not have proper qualifications, and they really wanted proper training. And with their Rekha and Kathleen and some others, and Mahajyoti, and of course Arati is behind all of them. She's the glue which keeps the things moving. She's the lubricant, which keeps Gurukul moving for the last 25 years. And this brother Prabhakar, he just has been helping me with this New Minister Review, and he published, you saw how beautiful thing he put out. But he said, Dada, my inspiration is Arati, because when I saw the Gurukul network, how for last 25, 30 years, he is making it single-handedly, and it is doing it. So how? He said, you never had any problem that, okay, no break, it was just continuously going on. So, we do not know what we are going to leave behind, what legacy we are going to leave behind. Many of us are getting old, and many of us are aging, but our coming together and performing is very important, because that is the legacy which we are going to leave behind, and the new generation will get inspiration from it. So this is the second area, of organizational building, of institutional building, of, taking new and new initiatives. And I was speaking with the Sister Ayesha Akanksha now, I think, and she is doing so much work with Prabhat Sangeet, and I think it's a very powerful, medium that Baba has left. Even those who cannot read books, just if they listen to all the Prabhat Sangeet, they will understand Baba's entire philosophy, because he has put his entire philosophy in the form of these songs and melodies, in this. So I think we have not yet fully tapped our potential. But if we think a little bit together, we brainstorm and we interact and we share, then maybe we can come up with even more dynamic things that we can do. What we may accomplish in 10 years, maybe we can accomplish in 5 years. And what we would accomplish in 5 years, maybe we'll accomplish only in a single year. And that's what Baba said when he gave Gurukul, that if you work unitedly, if you work together, then even the impossible things will become possible for you. But of course, you will need to make sure that you are not hindered by certain negative, tendencies and negative forces. So he says, when in the villages they used to make, this mango pulp, so there is always small children, and all these fireflies and things, they come and they, ants, they come here. So to protect them, they fan and they make sure that there is no, they're not eaten up by, these insects. So same way, he says, when you are building Gurukul, also you have to make sure that you will get opposition, and you will get, distraction from different way. But we have stuck to our rules that we will not discriminate between this faction or that faction. Gurukul will work unitedly and in order to fulfill his mission. And we are getting help. I give you one example. I have my campus, Chakraduri campus is 17 acres, about 15, 17 acres. And attached to this is Ajitanandihi, which is another 5, 10 acres campus. And there was some land which is not owned by us. It is owned by some villagers, but they don't have access because it comes within that whole big plot of land. So they are ready to sell it to us. So I spoke with Narayananji, and I did not speak directly, but they spoke and they said, no, Dada, let Gurukul buy that land because you are right next to it and you can develop it and maintain it properly. So, even though they are not directly associated with our administration, but still they are cooperating and they are supporting so that, the work can happen. And I really need that plot of land because to build hostels for the students and for the faculty, because within the Chakraduri campus, there is no scope for that. It's just an institutional building. So I think it's very important to have, a group of people who don't have such narrow sentiments. They are ready to keep an open mind and they are ready to work unitedly to fulfill some greater mission, And I think it is because of that today we have been able to build this new Humanist College of Asheville. Vishwamitra did something, Pashupati and, Vishwapriya, they did something. Then Rishi came and he is contributing something. Different people have come and they are collaborating and helping. So I think that's how the Gurukul is going to grow. It is based on the will and the determination and the goodwill of the people, for a greater mission. And the third space, I think, where the Gurukul has a role to play, and that is a civilizational space. This entire humanity, needs some proper direction. And that's why Baba came on this earth. And he said that one of the greatest, evils of this world is materialism, and it is causing nationalism is another thing which is, becoming an obstacle. And so he wanted that we should have a movement which is based on cosmic sentiment, universal sentiment, and in which there is the existential and utility value of all creatures is recognized. Mosquitoes may not be useful for us, but they may have a certain role to play within this ecology, within this ecosystem global. So there are many things. So today what we have done is that we have, deforested, a big chunk of this planet just to build, our houses everywhere. And we saw what we are already seeing, the forest fires which are taking place, the floods which are taking place, and big dams which we have built and the breaking of these dams, how in Libya just 2 weeks ago, what happened there, the whole village disappeared, just washed away completely. In Kullu, which is, just one rainfall, for 2-3 days, continuous rainfall, and the whole mountain has fallen down, is the main hub of the city where they have built 5-story buildings is completely washed away in one day, Big lorries, they were washed away in these floods because we did not leave the room for nature to maintain its, existential value. So that's why I think we are facing all these problems. And more of these problems will come on this earth because we are not still listening to what we have to do. So I think that is the main reason why we started this journal, New Humanist Review, because we wanted our leading scholars and thinkers to present the latest ideas on how this society should be organized and how it should be to speak on climate change or to speak on education or to speak on in different fields, not only, in economy. Dr. Ravi Batra was the first one who he agreed to contribute an article on inflation. He wrote especially for this journal, So even the people who we are not really in contact with all the time, but everybody came forward and they joined and they have supported this initiative, which we have, and this has just started, and we hope it is a biannual journal and it will continue. And I hope that you will come forward also and contribute and encourage others who are not in our contact, but who have similar ideas or who can contribute something for humanity. Their ideas should be presented through our journal also. So these are the three broad areas. One is person, individual, not only human beings, but also our bandhu, like that Rottweiler dog, they have a place also. Then we had to have training programs for animals, and you might have seen that image of the gibbon in Assam, is who walks on two legs, this like a monkey but walks on two legs, like an ape. They are there in Assam. There are few of them left now, and it shows, how human beings, had to cross. They used to have very long hands at that time. They could jump from one tree to another, and how changes are coming. Now with the technology, with artificial intelligence, with computers, machine learning, changes are taking place in human body also, and there will be changes happening. So we want that our scholars, many of you who are here in this room, you will deliberate on those issues and contribute your thinking and share the knowledge which you have come across, because there are many good people in the world who are thinking in those lines. So we are not aware of all of them. So I think you are our ears and mouths to spread these ideas. So let us all join together. And I don't want only to be a monologue. I would like to actually, on this space today, hear also from you how you see what role Gurukul can play, and how we can, what we can do, what we should not do, what are the caveats. And please, feel free to share. It is a family gathering, and we want to hear from you, how you can contribute, in what way we should do, what we should do, what we should not do. Please feel free to share, your thoughts. So I'll stop here, and then if you have any questions, of course, we'll continue. Yeah. Thank you.
I have
Yes.
a question, Balaji.
Yes.
When you were teaching the children meditation
Yeah.
and you started 1 minute, how long did you stay on 1 minute before you went to the next minute?
No, I just observe, it is because different places it will be different. These children, they were in the remote area. And of course, it was difficult in the beginning, even for 1 minute for them to close, somewhere they open their eyes like this and they are seeing like this. But then you find, and then we taught them to sit completely straight, So when the children become like this, then the teacher is going and helping the child to, sit straight. And now they are so good. I'll show you pictures I have, of they are in another world. They go for 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes.
So you observed when you felt they were ready, that's when
Yeah. I gradually, and some days, when I feel, okay, children are a little bit, not, then so there's no dogma about it. I think I just, I want to encourage them to get in touch with themselves. I brought stethoscope and I made them listen to their heartbeats, And it's these small children, they're putting on this and they're listening. And then they realize something is going on. So the idea is to expand their awareness to, and meditation, and through Prabhat Sangeet and meditation, they get the spiritual. And there is, of course, intellectual things also along with it, and for example, they can tell about all the 12 cranial nerves in the brain, the glands, pituitary gland, pineal gland, hypothalamus, neurons, all these things that what is DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Small children, 4 or 5 year old, they can think what is the difference between a male and a female, and what is XX chromosome, what is XY chromosome. It's not that you have to be in 10th grade and then you will learn. 3-year, 4-year-old, they are learning all these things, So I am teaching them. They know all these periodic table of elements, not in a systematic way, but simple. Like instead of teaching them A for apple, I say O for oxygen, H for a hydrogen, and like this, So it was a real Gurukula approach. Whatever I know, and I have to study to figure out what I'm going to, at least one new thing I have to teach them every day. And I would go there and be them.
And another question about the meditation is when they were meditating, what were they meditating on? What mantra was it?
No mantra, nothing. I just say, oh Lord, you are mine, I am yours, you are mine. Simple in their own mother tongue, I used to tell them, and they would, yes. Oh Lord, you are mine. Because in Prabhat Sangeet, in many places, such ideas are there. So I picked up from there itself, and I just teach that only. And they Tumi Amar, Ami Tomar, or Kichumi Janina, so I picked up things from there and like that. And the idea is just that they should still their body and still their mind. Once that happens, then slowly they'll discover the whole philosophy and other things, when I traveled with Baba from Paris to Bombay, in the plane I was sitting in the exit seat. Baba was sitting on the exit seat, and I was sitting at his feet. So I was massaging his legs, and Baba told the story of Shankaracharya, that when he was 5 years old, his guru asked him, what is your name? And he said, Na Janani, I do not know. What is your father's name? What is your gotra? And he gave the same reply, I do not know. He says, you don't even know who you are. Then he recites the Sanskrit shloka in which he says, there is a shloka, where he says that I am not this man buddhi ankaro chitani naham nacha shrotra jive nacha grana netre nacha vyoma bhumi tejuna vaju chidananda rupam shivoham shivoham. And one time I taught to the children, repeated 1-2 times there, and now they know, all of them, they sing. And interesting thing was, if one child learns it, all the children will learn it within what is the dynamics there among that village children, I don't know, but if one child learns, all of them will learn gradually. I think they teach to one another, or they have some.
So what did Baba say about Shankaracharya? What all did he say?
He said that, then Baba recited that shloka. Shankaracharya said that I am not this mind or intellect or these bunch of tattvas or this. Of course, there is a big, longer shloka of Shankaracharya, but this Baba recited only one part, and that's what I taught. So the things which I learned from Baba, I taught them, and they can tell you all the name of the 10 Vayus, Prana, Pan, Saman, Vyanu, Dhyan, all these, Nag, Gurmukrika, Devada, Dhananjaya. Then they can tell you all the siddhis, Anima, Mahima, Lagima, all this. Many things, small tidbits, what are the, I taught them there are 5 Vedas. There's Rig Veda, Athar Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Baba has given Jivan Veda, which is Guide to Human Conduct. And they say like this, and Baba has given Jivan Veda. So they get training in Guide to Human Conduct, So when, in the ETCs, we have education training camps. I bring 10 of these children, 10, 15 these children, they come, and I have question answers and this. And everybody is amazed at how they can tell the 7 descendants of Sanskrit, the Prakrit, Paschatya Prakrit, Peshachi Prakrit, Shorseni Prakrit, Malavi Prakrit, Magadhi Prakrit, Sandvi Prakrit, all these rattle like this. It is like second nature for them. It doesn't take them anything. So I find that their memory is so sharp that they are able to. So it's not only the content. Of course, I am selecting what I want them to know, but I think it's also training of their mind. And when they go to the school, they're not interested in the school because they don't learn anything in the government schools. This is actually a before school program. They come 6 o'clock, they leave at 9 o'clock. And then 10 o'clock, they go to the government school. And there they don't learn anything. Only they get maybe sometime new shoe or some dress or something like this. But otherwise, they don't learn anything. So whatever that's why they keep on coming to us, because here they are learning English, they are learning, different other languages, Sanskrit. They also speak Sanskrit. And they can say numerals from 1 to 10 in Greek, in Chinese, in German, in Sanskrit, in Bengali. They can say 1 to 10. They can, enumerate. Nobody taught me that, so I have made my practice now for teachers. What things you can teach. In that, I'm also including space. What is L1? The Indian government just sent one satellite to monitor the activity in the sun, and it was at L1 point, Lagrange point. So he was a mathematician, French mathematician. So whatever I pick up these tidbits, I share with them. But they are ahead of the game. They know things which maybe they will never learn any other place, but I think it gives them a head start. So the purpose is not only to transmit intellectual things, but it is to help them build up their mental capacity to retain, to think, to transmit. There was a girl, Asha, she was so shy. She never wanted to. And now within 1 2 years, they stand like this, they can address maybe 100 people, 1,000 people, they can address. No shyness, no any fear, nothing like that. So I think this is what I mean, that Gurukul has to help each individual to manifest their potentiality. So that's the individual. Then institutional, we have role to play within the organization and outside the organization also. And then for the whole humanity also, we have a role to play. So I think that's why I feel, in my understanding, that Gurukul has a big mission in front of it. And we need all of you, each one of you. And you will figure out what you can do, because I don't have to tell you what has to be done. You come forward and Baba will guide you because he said, I have done most of your work. So it's not that even I did not know what Gurukul has to do, but we just saw that, okay, we have so many schools, so there was no proper educational system or nothing. Baba gave some guidelines. Actually, Catherine was the first person, in our movement who wrote the first article on humanist education on the different koshas and things, which, that was 40 years ago, So I think now there are so many people within our movement and outside also. In Holland, there is a Montessori school, there is a Rudolf Steiner school, and there is a New Humanist school. And New Humanist school is very, very popular. She has 300 children in Den Bosch in our school. It's not a small amount. And running for the last 30 years. And she has just bought one sports hall now, next door also, and after school program and many things. So I think similarly, in Long Island, the school running for 30 years. So all these people who have been doing so much work for all these years, it has not been recognized, in the world yet, their sacrifice, their contributions, and without any government help, it's all grassroots initiatives. So I think same thing is true of today. Maybe it is a small institution, but I tell you, in the future, you will see there will be millions of dollars endowments which will come to the New Humanist College of Asheville. Now it may seem, okay, how is it going to happen? But I think it will happen. It will happen. It will be an institution, and even that will be less. It will grow. So obstacles are there, but we must not stop. Worry about the obstacles. But we should do what is real, what is genuine, what is needed, what is appropriate. If we do the right things, I think then the resources will follow. So
Can we accelerate some of that money?
Huh?
Can we accelerate some of that funding?
Yeah, it will come. We have to make effort. We have to put it out that yes, we need. Maybe the world does not know that we need. That's why I think they are not responding. So the world should know that we need. Then I think response will come from I tell you a story. Just only few 2 months ago, I was at Ananda. And one Dada, our RM Dada, he called me and he said that there is one sister here, she wants to talk to you. She has come from Turkey. and her name is Sutapa. Sutapa, I said, I know Sutapa. When I was there as SS in Cairo sector, she was a young woman at that time. And so she came. So she came there, and then now she was elderly woman. And so she stayed 1-2 days, she stayed. And then one night, one evening she comes and she said, Dada, here is, something for this building. I want you to complete this building. I said, this is not enough to complete this building. It would cost 2 crore rupees to complete this building, but you start the work in this. And she left $8,000 on my desk, And she had already gone to Kinsuk Dada and given $10,000-15,000 there to him for his medical bills and other things. But, it's, Baba will provide when something is really needed. I think it will come. He built the whole mission without single penny in his pocket. And yet, we have built, such a huge establishment here. So I think resources will come. But yes, we need to express to the world that, yes, what is going on. And I think not everybody knows what we are doing and what needs to be done. So I think, yes.
Yeah. I'm just listening to your story, and it's bringing up something in me, which is, feeling how much you love those children you're talking about, and how much they love you. And it's sort of the well-being of you and well-being of them, and then the learning just flows, whatever the learning is, whether they're doing art or they're learning about focus or because it's that relationship and that connection. And I think that that's a very important quality of, we talk about that in the college, that this well-being of the teacher and their development, and you obviously spent your whole life developing spiritually, So I just wanted to reflect that that's what I was feeling, that real well-being and caring and delight kind of, and I think that it's very important. I just wanted to.
Yeah. And I think it's very important that all of us are here and we will interact and we come to know each other and help each other to figure out what we can do better and how we can do. Because together we are not more than if we are separate. And that's why the purpose of this gathering is, that come together. And Didi Rama is the one who's pushing. No, we have to meet in person. No, we have been having online things, but we have to meet in person. So thank you for inspiring us to gather here. But I hope that during these 2 days, there's no pressure, nothing. We'll take it easy, just enjoy, eat well. And, there are, we don't have any big agendas, but we want each of us, to come closer and to understand, you reflect on what you want to do with your life, what more you can do, how you can help us, how we can help you, what more we can do together in whatever way, So just let us have a good family get together for 2 days. And of course, we'll have, we'll do some, formal things also. But I think more important is that we, let that vibration unfold, what is inside of the spirit unfold, its potentiality. Okay, so Santosh. Ramesh, we are expecting a lot from you too. Jyotirmaya, it's not accident that you are here. He and Ashok, they came all the way from Germany and London, and they are here, flying so far distance, and they had other works also, but this is very important that they are here. And so thank you very much to each one of you. And thank you all the people who are there on Zoom with us.